Welcome back, terrestrials. In this episode, we're doing 2006's Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Beginning,
The beginning.
the better one. All right, so hopping into it, Jerry, what did you give this one?
I'm conflicted, but I'm like, it's not an movie, like B plus. Like, what did I give the
Okay,
last one? Like a
you
B?
gave it a B.
I
Yeah,
gave it a B. So
yeah.
like, yeah, B plus, like a lot better than the first one we watched. Like, I like it
A
a
B
lot
to a
more.
B plus isn't a lot better, but okay.
It's positive,
It's,
but
it's a positive, yes. Swing,
right.
yes.
I just don't see it as like an A.
Hmm.
I like it, but is it an A movie? I'm asking.
Are you? Oh yeah, no, I get. Yeah, I give it an A.
Right. You giving it an A?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm biased because I love the series, I love the franchise. But this one, it was like when they put out 2003, they were like, "Oh shit, man, we kind of fucked up here and there and there. Let's fix it."
Right.
And then they put out a whole movie and they were just like, "Here is the brutality.
Yeah.
Like here's the story that you
Hmm.
might be missing one. Here's everything. And, here's a bigger chainsaw. Here's more blood. Here's more guts. Here's
Tell you what we
bigger
need in Texas
boobs.
Chainsaw
Like
Massacre is a bigger chainsaw. Like, why can't
that's what I mean, they
Leatherface
did
have a
that.
car chainsaw? Oh yeah, yeah.
They did that in the original run. But I mean, this one, I mean, we start out, the family, we see the woman have it, and it's funny because in the synopsis of the movie, it says that she has an abortion,
Yeah.
not that she just gives birth. So the only aborted part is where they throw them in the trash
They
can.
throw him in the trash
But
can. Yeah. I guess that's like in a
anyways,
Texas
yeah.
abortion. So
Yeah, I
that's
guess.
probably not funny to
Uh
somebody fucking out
no,
there.
yeah, well, too bad. But yeah, so we see how little Leatherface becomes a part of this family. We
Thomas
see
is his
how
name, I think.
Yeah. We see how the sheriff becomes the sheriff.
Sheriff, yeah.
We see, what the family is now eating because the town is dead.
We ain't never
Um,
gonna go hungry.
it's funny to me though, because this town, they kill all these people and stuff, but then also they just allow this biker gang to hang out at their store.
Well, yeah, you take care of the cows, I guess. Fucking livestock. That's all
I
they see
guess.
them
I
as
don't know.
is
It just seemed to
livestock.
me like they didn't want to bother with them. Because
Right.
you remember Hoyt goes, uh, all we got around here are bikers and hippies now. So it's like, well, why don't you clear the fucking bikers out then? Like that you
Mhm.
gotta eat.
Yeah.
I mean, if you pick them off one at a time, you're gonna have problems.
Right.
So you either need to just shoo them off or like, I don't know. I don't know. It
I
just it
dig.
hit me as weird
Yeah, I dig
that
what
they
you're
just like
saying.
yeah.
I think they just treat them as like, they're complaining about it,
Mhm, yeah.
but they are eventually gonna be like, oh well, the freezer's low. We got to go out hunting. So
Yeah.
that's how I see it, especially after, he becomes the sheriff there. Like I see
Mhm, mhm.
him like putting a blind eye to some of the hijinks there because he's like, "Don't worry,
Mhm.
you're just making yourself known to me because one day I'm gonna eat your ass." So, and I think that's what his motivation should be, if anything.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
So overall, I think this movie's pretty damn good. I think for a remake or a reimagining or however you want to go about it, they did so much right. They didn't add too much,
No, they
but
didn't
they
have.
added enough. They added a little bit here and there. My biggest gripe with the whole movie is Leatherface not wearing a face the entire time.
Right, that
Um,
thing on his face that it like
yeah, the
that. It
COVID
looks,
mask that he
yeah.
had. made out of leather.
Look, mama,
And
I'm Kane from the WWF or
yeah,
something, you know.
I get it. It's the beginning, like he wasn't killing people at first, so he didn't have faces to wear.
Right.
So, he had real leather like cow hide, and that's what he wore as a mask to cover his face. I, I get all that. I understand that it's just Jason with the bag over his head till he finds the hockey mask.
Yeah.
That in that term, in that way, cool. I like it. I dig it. It's just I don't know. I liked seeing him in the mask. I think the mask from the 2003 one was a little bit better than this one.
Right.
This one looked like he pieced together a face, which is, obviously what it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that they just did a better job in the first one, like where you see him with Comanche's face, where he's wearing Comanche's face to look really good.
Yeah.
Um, and even then after that, where he's wearing his other leather faces, though I tell you, if they had those faces, those masks in this movie could have very easily been like an A plus, almost an S, because
Right.
the 2000s ick was not on this one for me.
No, no,
It-
I think they did a big list of like things from the first one that we want to kind of steer away. They knew,
Mhm,
okay, the hot ticket is the sheriff. We get a lot
mhm,
of sheriff time in this and a lot
mhm,
more intense like sheriff moments, in my opinion. A
mhm,
couple, I do like from the first one, but there's
mhm.
more in this
Oh
movie
yeah.
where I like the sheriff more. And I think that's why, Leatherface takes a side. Like
Mhm,
we're not going to put an amazing looking mask on him because he's nothing in this. He's just, the doer, like
mhm,
get this, get this pile of shit out of the back of my seat. It's
mhm.
the sheriff's movie, really.
Yeah, I agree. And
Until
maybe
the
that's
end.
partially why I like it so much.
Right. Yeah, I mean, they had to. If we had another like Leatherface like in the first rendition of it's just like no, we need to see him grow as a character,
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, it's the sheriff 100% in this. We've said it before. He's the best thing to come out of this.
What's his
Um,
name?
wait,
What's the actor's name?
it's R.E.M. Lemery.
R. Lee Emery.
Yeah.
Um,
So
but yeah,
R.E.M. Lemery.
yeah, he definitely steals the show. I think that they definitely focused on him more. But I mean, in this movie, there's just way more fun happening. And when I say fun, I mean murder. It's just, it's just right off the bat. I mean, you see him, you see the slaughterhouse guy, Thomas murders him,
Right.
and then he murders the sheriff to become sheriff, because that's how you become sheriff. You have to
I
murder
just
the
killed
old
the whole fucking
sheriff.
police
Yeah,
department.
yeah. Um, and then as soon as the young guy, the young crew flips that Jeep or that Bronco, then you know it's on from that point on. And even
Right.
that was an awesome scene because you don't expect it.
No.
um and then the sheriff walks up, blasts the fucking biker chick, and takes the rest of them off. And it's just it's an onslaught of brutality from that point forward,
Mhm.
with very minimal breaks in it. There's
Right.
breaks in it for you to kind of be like, all right, all right. They move this body here, they move this body here. Um, but it has one of the more iconic kills in this
The chainsaw.
series, the chainsaw with the biker.
Yeah.
Like it's almost they can't touch the hammer to the head in the first one,
No.
but this comes real close to being its own iconic kill for the franchise, because it's such a good combination of Sheriff Hoyt and Leatherface just working, together. And, he's encouraging him, like, get that thing going, get that thing going.
Yeah.
And then he like fires it up and just pulls the guy, like pulls the chainsaw through the guy, because he was laying on it. And the whole time, blood spraying all over the place, all over Hoyt, like all over the blonde chick in the bed. Like it's just, I mean, blood's everywhere.
Right.
So I mean, I don't know. I think that they really, really nailed this one. So I mean, as far as I'm concerned, yeah, it's a for sure. What didn't you like? What kept you from the A category?
Well, honestly, I graded the last one B. And you know my feelings on that. It was really like the last week, it was our victims, the side stories. Okay. This week, the victim side stories are great. Like I have very little in complaints
Hmm.
other than it's not the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
That's my S. That's my, you know,
All right.
holy grail of a movie. It's just like the B plus really I would say comes from just, is it an A movie? It's probably the best of the 2000s, like Texas Chainsaw Massacres. Do I have a complaint about it? Not really. I don't have like this huge complaint. The only complaint I have about it is
It's
not
not
the
the
first one.
OG. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the original. Um,
Yeah, I think that everything that they did in this one, they did right. I think that
yeah,
they took a lot of care to this
they
one. They
took,
saw the mistakes in 2003 and they said, "All right,
yeah,
it doesn't rain that much. There's not that much water around here." And I think that when this movie opens, they really stressed like, "Whoopsie daisy on the last one, guys. Look how hot and deserted and desolate this
yeah,
place is." They
definitely,
spent time on the scenery going, "The sun is just beaming and it's
yeah.
fucking
I
hot."
think in between the first one and this one, there's this little unknown movie called The Devil's Rejects that came out,
Hmm.
and like you can see like mirror image of
For
this.
sure,
Like they
for
use
sure.
that camera. It's not like Rod Zombie shaky cam where
Right.
it's like all over the place, but it's more like handheld live action, like
Hmm.
when they're in the car and Hoyt's walking around the car
Hmm.
and like they're doing a
Hmm.
shot on the inside. It's just like it's a simple pan shot, or like
Right.
when they tell Thomas to come get this thing out of the back. Come get this out of the back of my car, and like we don't see much because the windows are kind of dirty and it's real quick,
Hmm.
and I think that's great. That's great cinematography to keep us as an audience member still kind of like, whoa, what was that? I mean, we know what it is, but
Right.
what is that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I wish that was the first time we saw him, you know? Like I wish like we would have seen like bits and pieces of him.
Hmm.
Um,
I feel like they kept him pretty elusive, even though we see a lot of him.
right,
We don't in the first opening murder that he does at the warehouse. We don't really get a solid look at him. And then even when the sheriff's like, "Hey, Thomas, you done killed a man or whatever," we don't see him for
right.
up close. We see him from a distance. We go, "Woo, that's a big boy," but we don't see any details on him. And
Mm,
then they still hide him in that scene again. They hide his face because it's bright daylight. You would be like, "Oh shit." If you
right.
got to see, but you see how hulking he is and like how he just whips that girl up on his shoulder and like, I did notice both times he carried biker chick and Jordana Brewster, the chick in the white thing.
Mm.
He had his hand right next to their vaginas so tightly. I was like, it, like who carries somebody like that? I've carried plenty of people over my shoulder for various reasons.
Leatherface. That's
Yeah.
what Leatherface does.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so.
Yeah.
He's gonna make something out of their vaginas. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think that they did a good job at hiding him and they didn't play him up like a bitch like they did in the first one, the first, or
Where he gets his
the
arm cut off and then
sequel.
he's like, got to take a moment, take a
Well,
break.
not even that, but like where he's sitting in the room and he's like he's got his back down like this, and they're like, Thomas, you come out here, and blah blah, and he's like, like,
Yeah.
I don't I felt like the fumbliness wasn't necessary for somebody like him. I get that he would be sensitive, and I get that, like, in this one, Hoyt's like, this is one of those guys that picked on you in the playground. Like,
Right.
I get that he would have triggers and he would be a sensitive boy and all that stuff, but like at this juncture in his life, after murdering handfuls of
Yeah.
people, he's probably not so sensitive anymore. He's probably being like, oh, talk shit, die.
Yeah.
So like I feel like that was the
Like
thing that they did proper with this one. They didn't make him like a whiny pile of mess like they
that
did the other one.
that idea in the first movie where that they were looking at the original
Mhm.
and they saw like when he killed
Yeah,
um what's his face or no her no I can't is it yeah it's the first kid or the girl I
the
can't
girl.
remember and he's sitting there in the living room and he's like pounding his
Yeah,
head and
yeah.
like he looks up and they the the 2000s movie saw that as like, oh yeah, he's like, you know has mental problems and
Mhm.
things and instead of like the real reason, no, these fucking people are just breaking into this poor man's house. He's just like, where the hell are they coming from?
Yeah.
And so to make that same kind of transition over, they were like, oh yeah, he's like, Thomas just needs to like have a little moment to himself, and we're the mama
Yeah.
gonna yell at him and stuff. Thomas, you come out here and clean up your toys.
So there was never, I don't know where this came from. There was never Leatherface was never R-worded. He was just disfigured.
I mean, Hoyt says
So,
that in this movie. He's just a little slow.
right. I mean, yeah. But like when the sheriff's like, yeah, you can't have one of them around
Yeah,
normal people and stuff. And he's like, nah, man, that's not what he is. Like,
yeah.
he's simple. Like, but also he's uneducated because they never sent him, he
They
didn't get
probably
like,
couldn't. They probably like, oh, we'll send him to public education. And the
yeah,
school board at that time was like, yeah, we
yeah,
don't want
nah, dude, we can't
him
have
in this
your
town,
son. Yeah.
Yeah,
So like, I mean, he's simple only because he's uneducated. Like if they would have gotten him a tutor, he would have been fine probably. But I don't
they're
understand
eating
where
people
this.
to live. They're not going to be
Right.
able to get
Well,
like,
no, I'm not.
you know,
I'm not
a
saying that
tutor.
they going to get a tutor. I'm just saying, but
Yeah.
like, given the proper opportunity, he could have been fine.
Right,
Um, so I never understood why they did this, because even in the first one, they didn't. He may have been like emotionally disturbed, but he wasn't mentally challenged. And they keep playing this mental challenge on him. And it's
right.
like, why are we doing this? This
Yeah.
isn't an aspect of him. It would be like them doing that to Jason. Jason was just disfigured. He wasn't he wasn't mentally
He was
challenged. And
special.
yeah, he was special because he looked special, not because he was
Right,
special. So yeah, I think they steered clear of that. They kind of went like, this is the guy that would bully you, kill him
right,
to get him motivated, but they never played him like he was dumb. They even, when people said he was dumb or R-worded, they corrected them.
right,
Like that's not what he is. He's just, and I think all these little things that this movie corrected, took, did, just made it, elevated it, as where the
right.
last one that we watched, they were like, oh, he's an emotional puddle of pussy, so throw this little let's throw this little temper tantrum in the room and
Yeah.
make him hide. Like he just murdered a bunch of people and he's got people hanging on hooks. Do you really think he's hiding behind a door, like curled up, like, "Ugh?" I never understood why they
I
played him
mean,
like he didn't want to do it.
I even did that in the first movie where they showed the disfigurement. And my
Right.
brain always came to, well, they never said he was disfigured ever through the series. Like the reason I always thought he wore the mask is not because of he was ashamed of his face and had to cover up or anything. Like that was their narrative. I always thought the first Leatherface just wore the mask because he, had all of like he was a creative person. Look at he made furniture in the first one. He made, like all of this.
Are
Like
you
he's
sure?
bored. Yeah, they were never they gave him weird teeth in the 74 version, but never once was it like, oh yeah,
Hmm.
he's disfigured. Like that
I guess
wasn't
I just
that's
kind of always assumed that
right.
that's why he wore a mask.
No,
Because if it's not Halloween then and you're not having fun sex, then why are we wearing a mask?
because he lives out in the middle of nowhere and has all
Right.
this spare parts. Like when in the first one you see that little thing that like he's hanging bones up
Hmm.
all over the place, even in
Yeah.
like the neighbor's house, and in the brother, the hitchhiker,
Hmm.
he's making elaborate sculptures out of dead bodies in
Hmm.
graveyards. They're just bored artistic people. And so he probably looks at raw material and goes, yeah, I'm just going to wear the mask. He might be,
Oh man,
like
shit.
it's
I
like
don't
kind
know.
of
That's
like,
such a narrative that I've always just yeah,
yeah,
that makes sense.
disfigured, and that's in this
I'm
new
gonna
version.
rewatch it and just make sure because I feel like I don't remember beat for beat every little bit of like conversation. I just remember the visual of the entire movie, like
Right.
the back of my hand. So I'm gonna watch it again and see if they mention it because I feel like at some point they did mention it. It might have been all the way to Bill Mosley talking shit to him about the way he looked.
Maybe, I mean, but I always take like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, like the Leatherface in Texas 1
Right.
would go see the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 in the theater. Like if,
Right.
like the first one is reality, the second movie is kind of like based on true
Right. Stab.
events.
It's
Yeah.
stab to
Yeah,
scream.
it's the stab version. That's why it's
But
silly and cartoony.
well, yeah, but also I feel like it might be something like that people said like in the like from the first one being like yeah man that was really fucking terrifying but why does he wear people's faces
Right.
and then they were like oh shit why yeah shit he's disfigured
Yeah,
that's
we
why he
have to
does it let's
come up
slide
with a
this in
reason
there yeah
instead of like just letting it be. Why does he
yeah
wear people's face? Well, he wears people's faces because I wrote it in the script that he has to wear
yeah
fucking people's
yeah
faces.
yeah
We don't need backstory. If you create no backstory, you don't have to explain yourself.
yeah well I think because they didn't create a backstory they did have to explain themselves
Right.
and they ended up with disfigurement which is the easiest grab. But
Right.
all right.
I mean,
Well,
that's
now
probably
that
why the first one,
hypothetical theories and stuff.
right, the 74 version is probably the most powerful movie because we don't get a lot of explanation in that fucking movie other than
Yeah,
like kids go, kids die,
they should
fucking
remake it with him inside with like ring cams, and he's just like, no, please go away. I don't want you to enter my home.
yeah.
And then they break in, and then he has to do it. But like
Hello.
Simply Safe is like on their way, like their little like security guard or whatever.
I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna give you my guitar. Can we take some gas and then we'll be back to give you gas for a guitar
Yeah,
in this economy?
yeah.
Like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the end.
Yeah, yeah,
Leatherface makes a good bid. He got a
yeah,
guitar out of the deal and stuff. Yeah,
yeah,
y'all can have gas. We got plenty of gas, guys. It's fine.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
fine.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
We got a big old tank buried in the backyard, right next to the
Uh,
bodies. What? Nothing.
you know, they all go
He's just
over and
reasonable.
actually have the head cheese.
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
the hitchhiker was like, my brother makes it good and
Yeah.
stuff. That sounds great. We'll go
Yeah.
over there. And they're
Yeah.
like, we were actually gonna murder all of y'all, but can
You
y'all
guys
just
are all right.
get the fuck out of here?
Yeah.
Like goddamn hippies, you know? But that's okay. So in the
No,
Texas,
don't go down that road of trying to rewrite a friendly Leatherface
no,
movie.
no,
All
no,
right.
no. I'm done. I'm off of that. But I
Okay.
was thinking, like, okay, in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, we have a lot of side characters. Okay, we
Mhm.
have like the hitchhiker, Chop
Mhm.
Top.
Mhm.
Um, I'm gonna skip Leatherface 3, and I'm gonna skip. Oh no, I'm gonna skip Leatherface 3, but I'm gonna put Matthew McConaughey.
Okay. I was getting ready to say,
And
don't you dare.
we will put sheriff. We'll put the sheriff in this one.
Mhm.
Okay. Of all like Leatherface's like sidekicks, we'll call
Mhm.
them sidekicks.
Yeah.
Who did it the best?
You just want to be a dick and make me say somebody other than Bill Mosley because if we're honest,
Was Chop Top the
no, he
best
wasn't.
sidekick?
No, he wasn't. Honestly, the best sidekick is obviously Hoyt. Um, the first hitchhiker, that was a really good character. That
Okay.
guy did a good job. Chop Top, he's a lot of fun. He's weird. He's trippy. I still
Matthew
gotta go Hoyt.
McConaughey's
Matthew
out of
McConaughey's
his mind.
outrageous. Yeah, just fucking psychotic.
Like, I can't wait to
Uh,
do this. Just give me some speed
yeah,
and we're on
yeah,
our way.
yeah. But still Hoyt, man. Like Hoyt, the way he controls him, the way he motivates him, and how sadistic Hoyt is when he's not even around him.
Yeah.
Like I mean, if you look at the way like he comes in there, he cuts off grandpa's leg, and then he's like, well, fuck it, cut this one off too. And then she's like, why'd you do that? Balance. Like, I mean, the line delivery is hilarious, but
Yeah.
like also, uh,
He's so calm in that
yeah,
situation too. Oh,
yeah,
now look what you've done. Make it
yeah.
neat. Make it,
Yeah, but yeah, he's just I think that he complements Leatherface the best. Matthew McConaughey is a ton of fun to watch, and so is Chop Top.
Right.
But
Well, all
they're
of them are
they're yeah, they are.
fun.
But the hitchhiker, the original hitchhiker, he makes me uncomfortable. So I think it would have to be like
Like
Hoyt,
if we were to go, okay,
hitchhiker.
so let's drop the hitchhiker because he's such an original and unique character that, we can't even put him on a pedestal, but we're going from Chop Top now to Hoyt. Like there, that I made it easier. Or did I?
I don't know what you just did. You
I
just
just took the hitchhiker out of the equation.
Oh, then it's still Hoyt. I mean,
Okay.
if I had to go, it would be Hoyt, Hitchhiker, Chop Top. No, Hitchhiker, Hoyt, Matthew McConaughey, Chop Top. Chop Top was just fun and weird. He didn't really serve a crazy purpose. Everybody else was,
He's
you
got
know,
one really great moment when he first walks in.
to the
And he's
radio
like,
station.
yeah, when she comes down the stairs and Chop Top is sitting there
Yeah,
and like the lights are out and freaking he's like doing his thing. We haven't seen Leatherface at all yet.
right, right.
You know, it's perfect. But then throughout the movie, he kind of like
Yeah,
he takes a back seat to fucking um Dennis Hopper at that
yeah,
point, you know.
yeah.
Bubba's got a girlfriend or
Hmm.
things like that. Like they haven't really fleshed out that Chop Top character. You
Right.
know, Hoyt's completely fleshed out. Hoyt, I would even say, would be on like a McConaughey level where they're the
They're the
Leatherface is the
heads of the
sidekick.
families.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're the
they're the heads of the
sidekick.
family for sure.
Right. Um, Obviously I will leave out the Viggo Mortensen and the tow truck driver from part three because I don't
Yeah.
remember their names, one, and two, that movie is something to be dealt with.
All right. We got to do a Texas run, I guess. Well, we're kind of
Yeah.
knocking it out mostly right
Well, we
now.
got these two down, but you,
Yeah, and
you
we've
know,
already done the Netflix one, so we need to just run the original
yeah,
one
but we still have to go back and redo that Netflix one to see if it
if it
truly
still is a
is,
piece of shit.
or were we just like, nope, shit, you know. I
Uh,
don't even know if it's on Netflix
uh,
anymore. It's so
the
crap.
Netflix ain't going to take it off. It's their
No.
property, so
Right.
why would they?
Right. But yeah, I would say that this movie better than the first one. Probably the
Definitely.
best, probably one of the best in the 2000s. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre kind of like gets weird in the 2000s, I
Yeah.
would say.
You know what? I think this one, sorry, but
Mhm.
this one, I think, real quick, just this is the first time where you have a bunch of characters or the main group of characters that or victims, um, that I actually could relate to, sympathize with, cared about because we grew up watching Vietnam movies and we
Right.
grew up watching, Full Metal Jacket, all these movies and you saw the horrors of war, so you saw the dynamic of like the guy who's getting ready to go back and the little brother who doesn't want to go at all.
Yeah.
And you see like that whole all four of them, well, the blonde one didn't really matter. We know why she got the job, but the three of them, they did a good job. And
Yeah.
even her, I'll fuck it. I'll give it to her
Yeah.
too
All
because
four of
she was a
them.
supportive
Right.
character of her boyfriend. Jordana Brewster was a
She
support of them
instigated
too.
the burning of the draft card. I'll
Yeah,
say
yeah,
those victims in this, their story once more, way better
yeah,
than Leonard Skinnerd
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, for sure.
I got a baby. I'm
Yeah,
pregnant. I'm Jessica Biel and I'm pregnant.
yeah.
And the
Jessica Biel was
Vietnam,
pregnant in that movie.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, she was
it's still
pregnant.
it wasn't great, but
I
I
think
didn't.
it's like a little like
I think it's right at the end where she's like, "Oh, I have your baby,"
yeah,
or "I had his baby," or
yeah,
whatever.
something like that.
The
Like
the stress and trauma that baby ain't gonna survive.
right.
But anyways, yeah,
But yeah, the whole thing with the Vietnam and the biker and
mhm,
just we're in this situation,
yeah,
especially like I'm a Vietnam badass. I'm
hmm,
a army guy. I'm a badass. And it's like,
yeah.
well, you can say that as much as you
I mean,
want.
he held
Fucking,
it down for a
you know,
long time. I
he
was
held it
impressed
down,
with
but
both of them. Like,
in the long run, and no winners in this. This is a pure like game over
yeah,
in this. So fucking call Bill. Fucking he should needs to be in every movie where like all the victims die. Like just like you just need that clip in the fucking movie. Game over, man. You know. Jacob.
yeah,
Shit. Jacob, you gonna go see this in the theater?
yeah. I would. I think I missed this one in the theater.
I missed it in the theater. I wouldn't mind
I
going to
think
see it if they brought it
I
back.
think the 2003 owes me for watching this one because I saw that when I was like, eh. And then this one came out, I was like, nah, I already,
I think instead of like pushing forward with these, because I can see like four or five more of these Texas Chainsaw Massacres coming out, and they didn't do it because nobody went to the theater on this one.
mhm.
So, physical copy?
Yeah, no,
No, you don't have one, or
no, I had to
you
rent it.
want one?
I do want one, but I
Okay.
don't have one. I have two of the shitty ones.
Yeah, I got a physical copy of this. Is this one cult? Is this a cult classic?
I'm gonna say no, but it could be
Okay.
because it's an overlooked one because of the 2003.
I think so. I think because of 2003, and then next after this would have been Leatherface 3D.
Yes, and then
No, is it the Texas
no,
Chainsaw 3D?
yeah, it's Texas Chainsaw 3D, and then
Okay.
it's Leatherface, and then
And
Netflix.
it's Netflix. So I think a lot of people just don't remember this. You know,
I
they saw the Jessica Biel one, and then they saw the 3D one, and then they saw
I really
nobody saw
enjoyed.
the Leatherface one. Fucking
I
never
did.
mind.
I did.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed this one, and I thought the entire time that Jordana Brewster was Elijah Duskuch. So I mean, I didn't even remember, and the first time I saw that biker get cut in half like that, I was like, this is the OG now. Like this
Right.
is, as far as these remakes that they're doing, this one's the best by far. Now, let me ask you a question. After everything that we've talked about here, you still gonna stick with just a B
Yeah.
plus?
Yeah. I'm sticking with a B plus. So
That's very strange that you gave the other one a B and this one's only a B plus.
I'll re-change and I'll say that's a B minus, and this is a B plus.
Yeah, that's still.
Yeah.
That is
I don't know.
definitely
It's just
that's
not in the
definitely a
A
C, and
bracket
this is.
for me. You know, it's good. It's great. I have
I
nothing to
gave the
complain,
other
but
one a
it's,
C,
did
and
you?
this one an A. Yeah, I mean this one is just so brutal. It's like it helped revive horror in that
Right.
era where it was just not
They had to
looking good.
compete with something like Devil's Rejects, and at the time, fucking I guarantee this company looked and was like, green light it now because we need something from Texas. We need something in the 70s.